Alrighty, how's everybody doing today? That's a little bit of life. Too much drinking or partying last night, or the Canucks lost? I was at the game. I had to show my support for Canada. It was a good game. 7 goals scored. I looked up in hockey, and the average amount of goals scored is only about 2 or 3 a game, so I guess we lucked out in that regard. And I have a wedding to make, so my presentation is going to be pretty quick. I arranged the schedule and everything because I love Canada so much. I lived in Canada for a couple of years from 2006 to 2008 in Toronto, so I had to come to Vancouver and meet up with some Canadians as well, so thanks for having me. Our presentation, and that's my co-founder, by the way, so I'm leaving, but Thomas will be around if you want to chat about what we do. We're a little different than the blockchain and Bitcoin, which has been a lot of what we talked about in the presentation today, but as the MC stated, we've raised 200, I took that screenshot a couple days ago when I was finishing the presentation. That number updates live on our website, so it's kind of fun. We just tie everything into all the marketing and everything we do. So it's $225,826,259. We got a lot of press, a lot of exciting things happened out of it. That kind of went all over the internet. And a lot of what I'm wearing is some of the products that we brought to life. So the original grain watch, the trackline belt, I've got a Basics wallet that I use, so Wilcox boots. It's been kind of fun to wear all the products that we've brought to life. That's even more fun than some of the money sometimes. So you can look up a little, I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about us and our story, but we have a new podcast. Check it out, and I think you'll enjoy that. And by the way, speaking of slides, I did tweet out a link. I think it's the only thing I've tweeted in the last little bit on SlideShare. So if you look me up on Twitter, tweet Zach Smith. You can grab the slides. Tweet Zach Smith. How many of you have an idea for a business? Anybody? Business, blockchain, I can make this presentation about ICOs, something like that as well. So business idea, hands, show of hands. Maybe you already got one, initial stages. Have you done something with it? Doing something with it, thinking about it, idea stage? Okay. Hopefully this presentation will help you a little bit. This is not just theory. We hate theory. Obviously, we're not the type of teacher that teaches and theorizes. We're the type of teacher that has actually done everything I'm going to teach you today. We call it the 7 Ps for crowdfunding success. They are product, platform, presentation, promotion, price, probability, and people. And these are the things that we found after raising $225 million plus for 2,500 campaigns across the world of what works and why they work. So in this presentation, I'm going to share some specific examples about how these work, how you can apply them, and how you can think abstractly so that you can bring your next big idea to life. P number 1, product. Probably your most important one. Why is it so important? What makes your product different, special, or unique? And one of the most important elements is what's your story? How did you create this product? The thing that I found most important about product is your story. And I used to say, tell a story. But as I've looked at things and as I've explored all of the data, it's not just telling a story, it's actually having a story. It's having an authentic, real story about why you created whatever it is that you've created. What made you decide to bring it to life? What problem did you face in your life that made you decide to create a product that would solve this need? What pain point or problem is it solving? And then a question to ask yourself that we ask quite a bit, in fact. This might be the most important thing you can ask, because a lot of my presentation and all that $225 million you see raised has been on the crowdfunding platforms Kickstarter and Indiegogo. And Kickstarter and Indiegogo are rewards-based crowdfunding, meaning people who back a campaign expect to get your product as the present for backing. So if I have a new wallet, I'd say for $20, you can have this new wallet. And then you as a backer would pledge $20, and then if we raise enough money, you would get the wallet. That's rewards-based crowdfunding. So here's the unique situation about what we found. Looking at all the data and everything else, if you have one takeaway of if you're going to be able to raise money and you want to go the rewards-based crowdfunding, it's very simple. Has your product or idea ever been featured on Kickstarter? What makes your product idea new, unique, and different, such that no one's ever done something like it on Kickstarter? If you can answer that question, even if it's a watch or a wallet or something a little bit more techie, we just ran a foam toothbrush that brushes your teeth in 6 seconds. There have been other toothbrushes on Kickstarter, and we'd raised millions for other toothbrushes, but this toothbrush had a unique element that no other toothbrush had, and it raised over $1 million US. So that's the secret to product. The other question to ask yourself Would you personally buy the product? Now, you might not be in the market, but I think what I've found, because rewards-based crowdfunding is a personal experience, your backers are your earliest adopters and your innovators, you need to be in the game with them. You need to convey that emotion and that spirit of excitement and entrepreneurship so that they will get excited about your product as well. So, will you buy your product? Will your friends and family actually give you money for your product? That's a good thing to ask. We call it pre-launch validation. And in pre-launch validation, it's really simple. Use the wallet example again, and the gentleman in the front who just spoke, I could say, hey, I've got this amazing new wallet. It does all of these really cool, fancy things, right? It's going to be $20. Can I count on you on December 1st, 2018 at 8 o'clock a.m., if I can get 1,000 other people involved to give me $20 for this to help bring this to life? That's how you ask somebody for money. And then you wait, and you get an answer. He's like, no, $20 is too much. No, I don't like that wallet. No, I've already got a wallet. No, I don't like this or that. No, I don't like the color. You'll get feedback. You'll get help. You'll get experience. And it's, again, one of the biggest problems we see about this pre-launch validation is, I've got this wallet. Oh, it's amazing. It's great. I've got this wallet. Oh, it's amazing. It's wonderful. I've got this amazing new idea. Oh, I love it. That's so good, Zach. You're so great. You're so creative. Ask them for money. Then see what their response is. And then you'll know if you have a good idea or not. All right? It's hard to do. It's awkward. But if you believe in your idea, you better hope other people are going to get behind it too. And your friends and family, if they're your friends and family, should give you some money too. We actually call it the Triple F. Podcast episode on it just went live a couple days ago. Friends, family, then you got the fools too. So, all right. Maybe this thing's not going here. I don't know. I'm pushing the wrong one again. My bad. That's silly. Thanks. We have a formula for products called ubiquity plus tech plus compelling story equals huge chance for success. Breaking it down a little bit, what is ubiquity? Ubiquity just means how broad can you go? In crowdfunding, the more broad you can go, the better. The toothbrush example that I shared a little bit ago, everybody brushes their teeth, hopefully, right? So that means potentially everybody is your market. Now you add the techie element. The techie element was the way the toothbrush brushed your teeth, the foam elements of it. Now you've got the techie. A toothbrush is a ubiquitous item, no tech to it whatsoever. Add the element of being able to brush your teeth in 6 seconds or less. Now you've got the tech. What's the story behind it? Now you have a huge chance for success. And then finally, and this one's self-explanatory, will a lot of people need or want your product? That kind of ties on the ubiquitous element of it. And that's P number 1. That's your product. Let me give you an example of a story just to really hit this point home. This is our client, Lunaware, and this ad, a variation of this ad, ran all over the place. This is probably, even though I've been doing this for about 5 years now, this is still probably one of the best ads we ever had. One of the ways you know if you have a good ad is if you have a good click-through rate. And a good click-through rate just means that a lot of people are curious about it. The reason this ad was so important was because these were 2 grandchildren of a watchmaker, and they had invented a watch. So a variation of this ad went something like this. 73-year-old watchmaker passes on legacy of watchmaking to grandchildren. Look at that ad. Do you see a watch in that picture? It's the little circle. That's the watch. This raised hundreds of thousands of dollars a day and became a very, very successful campaign and achieved virality because of the story. Everybody got excited about the story, and the watch is a great watch. But we didn't even have to feature the watch because the story was so compelling. That's how you tell a good story. Example number 2, this hits home on the element of a ubiquitous item with a little bit of techie in it. Everybody uses a towel after they bathe. This towel was infused with some silver. It had a waffle weave. It was called onsen. He got the story idea. He got the idea from visiting some Japanese bathhouses throughout the years. He combined a ubiquitous element, a towel, infusing some techie into the towel, some innovative elements, and then he told an amazing story, and this towel raised a bunch of money, and it's still a very successful company. The waffle we've made it so that it would dry really quickly and never get mildewy or disgusting. All right, P number 2, platform. This one's pretty simple. There are some ideas that work for rewards-based crowdfunding, and there are some that don't. The easiest way to understand this is, let's say you've started a landscaping company or a lawn care company. I can tell you without a doubt that's not going to do very well in crowdfunding. It's not very ubiquitous. You're going to only be able to mow the lawns in a certain geographical area. But a good platform for lawn mowing would be to hire some salespeople and go door to door and knock some doors and line up your first clients. Platform matters. You might have a really good idea, but that really good idea might not do well on rewards-based crowdfunding sites like Kickstarter and Indiegogo. I get asked a lot, because Kickstarter and Indiegogo are kind of the big ones, which one's better? This screenshot's a little dated. We haven't updated our numbers, but it's actually even more in favor of the green, which is Kickstarter. The answer, definitively and without fail, for anything you can possibly think of, unless Kickstarter doesn't accept your idea, is to go on Kickstarter. Kickstarter, and why? You might say why. Number one, Kickstarter has a much higher Alexa ranking. A higher Alexa ranking means more traffic. More traffic means if you can bring your friends, family, and fools on board first off, then Kickstarter will engage and kick in all of their audiences. Their formulas and their algorithms make your campaign rank higher on popular, organic, trending, magic, new, discover. All these different categories make it so that being on Kickstarter is very successful. You can do the same thing on Indiegogo and raise 10 times less money, pretty much guaranteed. In fact, I even joke with our client, Razvir, and that toothbrush that we just got done running. I said, if you would have been on Indiegogo, because that's where we wanted to go originally, we would have raised you $20,000 instead of $1.4 million. And so it's very, very important to launch on Kickstarter. And I could tell Kickstarter this if I even saw them to their face. I don't really like them. So I don't have any interest in terms of saying go with Kickstarter, go with Indiegogo if you think this is some kind of affiliate thing. It's not. I don't really like Kickstarter, the way they think, the way they operate. They think a lot different than me in business, and I don't think they understand marketing the way that I understand marketing, the way that we think about marketing. But they are just a better platform for a number of reasons. P number 3, presentation. A lot of times, oops, my slide didn't pop up for that one, unless I went too fast. Oh, there we go. Okay. P number 3, presentation. A lot of people ask me, what is the most important P? Or they say, just do all of your marketing. We want that famous funded today spike at the end. We want you to raise us a bunch of money. We've raised this money on our own. Now do this for us. Or market our campaign. Bring it to life. Such was the case of Aaron Johnson of Shopbox 2.0. He had invented a really cool product. This product was a little box that you could put a product in and take pictures of it so that you could have high quality pictures on your website or wherever else you wanted to feature them. Problem was, as good as his product was at taking high quality pictures and imagery, his campaign actually looked like crap. It was terrible. Bad images, bad pictures, terrible reward structure, terrible design. So we ran our marketing. He hired us only for our marketing. His campaign was already live and it had raised $5,000 or $6,000. He had a $20,000, $30,000 goal. Wasn't going to hit it. We run our marketing. We don't raise any money. I don't even think we could get a pledge. Thomas notices that there's a presentation issue, and he says, I actually like this idea. Even though you've only hired us for marketing, let us redesign your page, redesign your video, clean everything up, actually use your product and make it look nice by shooting some good pictures of it, and let's relaunch. 3 weeks later, made a new video, designed a page, cleaned everything up, relaunched, and raised a lot of money for this campaign. Didn't change a thing on the marketing, I swear to you. The exact same ads, the exact same copy, the exact same targeting, the exact same strategies. Everything the exact same. Only thing that was changed was the presentation. Raised more money. Which P is more important, presentation or promotion? Clearly, presentation. Definitive example right here. This product went on to become very successful. You might have even seen it on HSN and QVC. Multi-million-dollar company now. Shopbox 2.0. Wasn't even going to raise money. Fix the presentation. Success. Okay? That ties perfectly into presentation or promotion. Our presentation P ties perfectly into promotion. This one is kind of the sizzle. Funded Today got known because of our promotion. Some of the first campaigns we worked on were just random inventions, and we promoted them because they had the other P's in check, and we raised them a lot of money. Because of that, everybody said, how did you do it? And a lot of people thought it was magic, because back in the day, Kickstarter and Indiegogo, they didn't even have good tracking. Literally, there wasn't even Google Analytics and things set up on these sorts of campaigns. And so we'd run marketing to these pages, and we had our own ways of tracking things to compensate for it. We were the only ones in the world doing that at the time, and it made it so that we could monitor our efforts better than anybody else, and as a result, we were able to do this sort of marketing. Well, now, we can kind of tell you what it is that we do. It's not magic, even though some people are like, it's magic, how are you doing that? Even the Unibrush client a few days ago when we finished running their campaign, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a day. How are you doing it? What's going on? How is it working? Right here. I swear to you, everything I'm telling you right now, this is what we do. Paid media, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. Those are the best platforms, kind of in that order. Obviously, Facebook is the best platform. You want to be able to run ads, just like I showed you on that Lunaware project. Ads that are curiosity-based, ads that incite interest, ads that convey a story, and then make your presentation synonymous with the ad. The job of the ad is never to sell. The job of the ad is to create curiosity, to create a compelling offer that is indicated on the coming page. So your ad does not say, buy this product, here's all the benefits, here's all the reasons, it's amazing, go get it. Your ad gets somebody excited so that you can reduce your cost per click, so that you can increase your click-through rate, and then the job of your page, your video, your presentation is to link it all together and convert. That's paid media. That's our bread and butter. Cross-collaboration is another easy one. There are over 400,000 campaigns that have ran on Kickstarter alone, and probably another 400,000 or 500,000 on Indiegogo. That gives you a million opportunities to go and find campaigns that might be a good fit. If I were a wallet, I would say, hey, I've got this new idea for a wallet, and you've got this really cool bag that has a slot for a wallet. Would you be interested in telling all of your people about my wallet if I tell all of my people about yours? It's a very good way to collaborate and link up, and actually this strategy has the highest earnings per view out of any marketing strategy that we do. Cross collaborations, cross promotions is kind of what they're called. We invented them, and they work really well because these are Kickstarter backers. These are Indiegogo backers. They already understand how it works. So when you tell them about another product that they might not know about, they understand all of the logistics involved of trying to back a project, and so they're going to convert higher than any other traffic source. Cross collaborations. Cashback. Cashback is a way that we can incentivize backers, serial backers, to get money back on their purchase. If I had a product that was $100 and I was part of the cashback network, I could join through the cashback network and I could get 10% off my purchase. So my $100 purchase is $90, and we just give them the money through PayPal. Really great way. We've got about 275,000 people in the cashback network, in our email list, and in our backer networks. And anybody who backs Kickstarter projects can join it. It's completely free. If you ever like to back Kickstarter projects, it's a good way to kind of subsidize the risk involved with backing. It's a great way to, there's another company that actually does some similar things called Kickbooster. They're also a really good company to use for cashback. I would recommend doing that just because it's a no-brainer and you have a lot of access to people that you wouldn't have otherwise. And then finally, earned media. And this one has come full circle. When Thomas and I first started Funded Today, earned media was kind of what you wanted to do. You'd reach out to journalists, you'd reach out to press, and everybody would write about your campaign. They were excited. Crowdfunding was new. Everything seemed fun. Help all these new people, all these people that aren't backed by their venture capitalists or angels, and help them raise a lot of money. But guess what? Kind of fell off the horse. Didn't do so well. And for a few years, it didn't work out as well. Now there's a new type of earned media, and it's really effective. In fact, again, I keep referencing the Unibrush campaign because it's so recent in my memory, and it was the one I spent a lot of time looking at myself in this presentation. That campaign alone raised over $100,000 in tracked press. Now here's why press is so important. That's just what tracked. Probably $300,000 to $400,000 didn't track. So the day I land an article in Digital Trends, I notice a spike, and maybe the article tracks for $26,000, but that day I raised $45,000, and I can account for $10,000 from my other sources. Well, there's $10,000 additional that didn't track. That's what press does. Press has the power to amplify campaigns that are already successful. So you're not going to get press if you don't have anything happening on those other promotional elements, paid media, cross collaborations, cashback, those sorts of things. You're not going to get press unless you've raised money, brought your friends and everybody on board. But once you have a successful campaign, once you've told the story, again, telling the story, we got funded in the first 2 hours of our campaign. We had a goal of $10,000, and we raised $20,000 in the first 2 hours and $50,000 in our first 24 hours. Write about us. Here's our story. Here's why it's cool. And by the way, we're successful too. So you can count on us delivering and shipping a good product to your backers. That's the power of earned media. And earned media has a residual effect, it has a branding effect, and it has an effect that doesn't even track. So it's much more effective. And then there's also a new way to do earned media where you can actually purchase press. A lot of outlets will allow you for a price to actually buy features. I think it's because of the digital age and a lot of the pressure they're facing, and they need to make money. And so you can buy press If they like your campaign, there's still an auditing and a verification process, but a lot of the times, if the price is right, you can purchase press from lots of major outlets around the world. BuzzFeed, Gizmodo, TechCrunch, those come quickly to mind, and those can raise you a lot of money. And then finally, this one's fairly exciting. Influencer marketing is kind of all the rage, and it has been for the last few years. 2018 might even be known in some ways as the year of the influencer. Everybody can become an influencer, but one of the best ways to raise money for your campaigns, if you can manage it, and this takes a lot of planning too, that's why I list this one last, is to get influencers involved. The most famous influencer I know who promoted a crowdfunding campaign for us actually happens to be for a Canadian campaign. I don't know if any of you know the Evolution bra, Joanna Griffiths. She's out of Toronto, Canada. She was our client, and George Takei, the Star Trek guy, he did a Facebook post and a Twitter post for her that raised over $200,000. So if you can get people like that to promote your campaign, you absolutely want to do it. But that's the type of thing where you can't message them when your Kickstarter campaign is live and say, hey, tweet about me, Facebook about me. But if you build that relationship up 3, 4, 5, 6 months in advance, it's definitely worth your time. It's just very hard to do. That's your promotional element of your 7 Ps. P number 5 is price. This best example is Catherine Krug. If anybody's watched Shark Tank, the Canadian version is Dragon's Den, I think. She was on Shark Tank, got one of the biggest valuations actually on the show. Her biggest issue was she had invented a posture product. I actually still use it today. When you're working at your desk, you wrap it around your legs, put it around your back, and it makes it so when you're sitting up straight that you don't have bad posture. This is what I usually look like when I'm typing. So her device is actually very useful for somebody like me because I am very lazy and I always sink deeper and deeper into my seat until only my head is above the desk. Total side note, but the biggest struggle that she had was price. She wanted to sell her product for $75. Problem was, didn't convert very well at $75. Fortunately, she had a lot of margin. If you listen to the Shark Tank show, I think she said it cost her about $8 to ship and fulfill and create this product. So if she's selling it for $75, decent margin, sold it for $50, made a lot of money. $1.2 million raised, I believe, for this campaign just on Kickstarter. She's raised millions since. She got a deal with Lori Greiner on Shark Tank, and it's been a very successful campaign. The only difference was price. $75 didn't work, $50 didn't. I get asked this question all the time. Which price should you pick? Start high. If it works high, great. You can always drop it down. But as you start high, make sure you build into your margins your product. You can't say, I'm going to charge $75 for my product, but if it doesn't work, I'm going to go to $50, and your product costs $45, right? Make sure you know where you want to be, and make sure you create a product that has 50, 60% margins, and build the price in accordingly. But don't start low on a price. You can always drop your price down, and your backers are going to be really happy. Raise your price up, they're not going to be too happy. That's the biggest secret I can give you for how to price your product. P number 6, probability. This one is the most subjective of them all, but it matters. What's the probability of turning your idea into a reality? And then we have a little bit about probability that kind of matters. We call it pragmatic probability. Pragmatic probability doesn't really matter, as crazy as it sounds. Pragmatic probability is the idea that, well, can this happen? Can they do it? Now, of course, as a side note and a caveat to that, you have to be able to create this product. You have to bring it to life. You don't want a cooler situation on your hand where you create something so exciting, so amazing that you raise millions of dollars, but you don't have the capabilities to bring it to pass. But to your backers, case in point, Cool is Cooler, they didn't care. They got excited about it. And that's because of perceived probability. Perceived probability is the only thing that matters. And in perceived probability, that is the idea that this is real. That's where you combine the elements of storytelling. That's where you combine the ability that you can bring it to life. And that's all that matters. Each of the 7 Ps has these 2 elements, the pragmatic and the perceived. You can have a presentation P that your product does this, and then talk about all the pragmatic substance of it, but just change it just slightly, and it makes all the difference. It's the perception that matters, and that makes all the difference in terms of your probability. And then finally, P number 7, this is your people. And I tweaked this presentation a little bit to talk about Daniel Larimer, briefly, most people probably know him. Very successful in a company called Steemit, very successful in a company called BitShares, and because of that, EOS, his most recent endeavor, he was able to crowdfund $4 billion. So more money than we've raised in our entire history of our company for one idea. People matter. People play into that probability element quite a bit as well. I think of all of the different creators, and I've mentioned some of their names today. Their stories are what sold their products. People believed in them. They saw their past experiences. They saw what they were able to do. They saw their capabilities, and then they leveraged those capabilities to bring those big ideas to life. People is so important. And then finally, there they are for you: product, platform, presentation, promotion, price, probability, and people. And remember, if you're underutilizing even one of these funded today 7 Ps for crowdfunding success, your chances for success diminish drastically. Even missing one, you're not going to raise money. They all have to be there, working together cohesively to bring your next big idea to life. Thank you.